So the trophy cabinet project is live then, but if you don't know the full requirements in advance, then you can easily miss progress by skipping key loot without even realising it. In this video I'll cover all 5 stage requirements, every required item, where to get them efficiently, and of course all rewards including the final completion reward. But before we jump into the full details, welcome to the channel first and foremost. My name is Dan and I create Ark Raiders content ranging from guides such as this one, to patch notes, news updates and more. So if this sounds like something you need, then please consider subscribing to the channel for all future content, and remember to hit that like button if you enjoy the video. So what is the trophy cabinet then? Well, it's simply put a 5-stage project, very similar to the Flickering Flames event that we had during Cold Snap, and of course the Expedition project. I'll showcase all stages on screen now along with the rewards, and of course I'll include some timestamps in the description below if you want to jump to a specific stage for any optimization tips, or you're just curious of what I did. For stage 1 then, we have some relatively easy items to find. I personally completed this stage on Stellar Montis, as one run yielded a very solid amount of tick pods and pop triggers from places like Seed Vault for ticks, and of course pops are just found literally everywhere inside Stellar. If you do head to Stellar as well, make sure you loot any shredder corpses you come across, or of course kill them directly while you're there. Stock up on the 5 gyros, as we need these for stage 3. The rusted bolts can also be found in the shipping container drawers in the loading bay area. You can also find them in lockers and other various locations on the map, but you should naturally come across 3 of these fairly easily. The surveyor vaults then can be found in 2 ways. You can either look for the large blue beam in the sky, as per this screenshot here, and head towards that to destroy the Ark. Usually from all of its destroyed parts you can expect 2 to 4 vaults respectively. Alternatively, you can search Ark couriers, which also yield an occasional vault. For me personally, combining both of these methods serve me the best. On to stage 2 next then, we have another set of fairly easy items to obtain. Personally, the only tricky one to deal with is the 3 expired respirator requirement, so my top tip here is to head over to the hospital area of Buried City. You of course can find these things in containers due to the medical location, but they are also sometimes lying around loosely within the area, as shown in the footage here. I think finding 3 of these took about 5 quick in and out day raid runs for me personally. For the wasp drivers then, you can either choose to kill them, or you can also loot the first wave husks to retrieve the 20 you need. For the 15 hornet drivers then, simply kill 15 of them in any open map. The spotter relays, however, are a little bit tricky depending on where you find a bombardier spawn. You can kill them quickly and they do respawn within about a 30 to 45 second window. However, it's worth mentioning the reason why this is difficult now is because no doubt more raiders are progressing this whole project, and they will of course challenge you for the spotters, while also needing to kill the bombardiers specifically for its cells, which are a requirement for stage 5, and of course without a bombardier being alive, the spotters don't respawn. So one method I followed here was to just wait for a respawn, because if you didn't know how respawns work, if a bombardier exists in a map, give it 5 to 7 minutes or so and that bombardier should respawn again. Alternatively this, you can jump into a new raid, so I leave it up to you on what you decide. Stage 3 up next then, where we have the shredder gyros as mentioned from stage 1, and of course some larger Ark now come into play with the leaper and bastion part requirements. For leapers, Dan Battlegrounds is no doubt your best chance of finding multiple spawns within one raid, and you can expect 1 or 2 units per kill. Typically 1 bastion should also be enough for the 5 cell requirement, but I'd anticipate at least 2 kills are required if there's other raiders in the area that are also helping you on solo runs, or of course if you run duos and trios you may need more. The Ark performance still though is one of the tricky ones. It's best found on Queens and Matriarch leg pieces from personal experience, but you can also find these in Ark couriers, Baron husks and various other Ark sources, so try to hold on to these as you're killing the Ark in general. Personally, I went into a few Queen and Matriarch map conditions, as we need the reactors for stage 4 and 5 anyway, so I thought I'd try and optimise my time with this method, but you can also find these on bastions and bombardiers. Onto stage 4 then, the Ark resin was again the most tricky one here, but as with the performance still, these are also easily found in Matriarch and Queen runs. One top tip here then is that if you're in friendly lobbies, just once the matriarchal queen dies, just open your microphone and ask if anybody's got any arc resin spare. I've seen so many people sharing this stuff. Honestly, I don't know if it's because they don't know if the project is running and it's a requirement for it, or if they've just already completed it. I don't know, but I would recommend speaking out just to see how much you can get for free. For the magnetic accelerators, you can get these also from the matriarch and queen events, but you can also craft them. One nice strategy on this stage is to contribute the accelerators quickly, which gets you access to the 5 wolf packs, which are the reward track for that specific contribution, and then you can use them against the Rocketeers to get their drivers, also for stage 4. If you do have an alternate strategy though to obtain the Rocketeer drivers, then you can simply use the wolf packs to maybe kill the Bombardiers instead, as you need the cells from these in stage 5. Rocketeer drivers though can be tricky depending on your raider economy, but I headed to Blue Gate personally with a few wolf packs in hand, and this only took me a few runs overall. But for those of you that don't have access to wolf packs or crafting them, and just a lower economy in general, a good alternative strategy here is to head over to the electromagnetic storm map condition and gather the first wave Rocketeer husks. There's a high chance in those that the drivers can be inside them. One area in particular is the Dam Battleground Old Battleground area. That's a very heavy spawn area for these husks, so definitely give that a go. Finally, with the Queen Reactor requirement then, one tip here is that if you're a low economy player then you're not sure what to do, try to take some explosives, heavy weaponry, and just focus fire the leg pieces. You can use 3 snap grenades, 3 trigger grenades to just help damage one specific leg part, and honestly it's fairly quick to take one leg off, and then you can just snag 1 or 2 at a time in any given raid. Alternatively, if you're in mostly friendly lobbies again, then raiders tend to come together to kill these bosses, so you'll be able to pick these up or even just ask again in an open mic if somebody's got one spare. Finally then, stage 5, Exodus modules and Geiger counters can be found the quickest on Stella Montis in the assembly area, and sometimes in the business centre area too, as these are the 2 marked areas for Exodus. Bombardier cells will take at least 2 kills if you're solo, but I did find some joy in the Matriarch events too, where of course every raider is engaging and killing not only the larger arc that she spawns, but also the Matriarch herself. So this might even be the most optimal condition to play in overall, because of the Leapers, the Bastions, the Bombardiers, the Rocketeers that are all usually present in these events. It does give you a good chance of obtaining multi-stage requirements in one run. Of course you won't complete the project, but you could get a Rocketeer driver in one, along with some Matriarch cells and other items as needed. So that's well worth considering. In terms of the total rewards then, I'll put these on screen, which include a free Jupiter, a guitar, 1 stack of energy ammo, and 300,000 raider coins. But the best reward by far is the Howl emote, as shown in this clip here. Of course, the rewards during the project are also pretty solid, with the snap hook and bobcat blueprints, along with other utility items too. Honestly though, maybe I'm being pessimistic here, but I expected a lot more from this whole idea. Of course, as a creator, it was in my best interest to try and blast through the progress of this project as quickly as possible, in order to help you out with your own progress. So maybe this has skewed my opinion somewhat, but I'm quite aware of that. No doubt it will serve as a medium-term goal for many players though, and be enjoyable for most of you. But I do think there could have been so much more delivered with this concept overall. I don't know about you guys, but when I saw the announcement of this trophy cabinet, my imagination certainly took over. I even asked AI to generate an image with the Raider Den as a reference point image, and just look at this result. Something like this would have been an incredible addition. Something resembling an actual trophy cabinet for us to progress with. Progress could have then been related to how many kills we had made of each arc, or maybe rewards associated with retrieval of certain parts of each arc, as within the project, but just include higher ceilings, such as 200 Bastion cells for example, rather than just 5. You know, maybe even associate cosmetic rewards that could have been introduced to these long-term chase rewards, such as a backpack charms like this one. Again, purely generated with AI as a proof of concept, but just look how great this little Bastion looks. But please let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this, because I'm not sure if I'm being too critical here, or we should be pushing Embark to innovate and create more longer-term systems for the game for us to engage with, rather than just these short, medium-term projects like this. I mean, honestly speaking, again, I think this is very copy-paste, right? We have Flickering Flames event, we have Expedition Project. It's very similar, and it does get boring fast. Maybe a combination of both longer and medium-term projects is what we need, and that's the sweet spot. But again, let me know your thoughts below. Anyway, for what it's worth, I really did enjoy completing the project, and some of the rewards were actually a lot better than I expected. If you did enjoy the content, of course, and you found it useful, then please remember to hit that like button, and of course consider subscribing for all my future content. And I hope to see you in the next one.